Now, if you take a very close look at the current status of Hollywood, at the film industry right now, the main reason why people are just not attending movie theaters anymore are, of course, widely connected to the fact that people are just getting very tired of a lot of these actors and actresses lecturing the general public, a lot of these Hollywood producers, putting out agenda-driven films and or television shows out there. And we all know at the same exact time, on top of everything else, it's just very expensive for a lot of people to go to the movie theaters to have a family of 3, 4, even 5 people. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, we have a lot of actresses out there like Jane Fonda, for example, who has been very insufferable, especially within the past, I would say 3 to 4 weeks now, where she really became more vocal than usual. And we all know that she's always been like this ever since the 70s, especially during Vietnam as well, with her whole, activism thing. We know one thing about this, though, is that we know that Jane Fonda is getting very bitter toward her own fans that have walked away from her overall, acting career, that no longer want to support her, that are no longer actually supporting her work. Even her own fans are now questioning exactly where she's coming from after spewing out such hateful comments toward not just Charlie Kirk supporters and Charlie Kirk himself after the whole Charlie Kirk assassination, but also toward President Donald Trump. Now, one thing about all of this is that we know that Tom Cruise most recently came forward to say to a lot of actors out there to dial it down, to tone it down with the, aggressive political rhetoric and how it's really just, acting like a plague over Hollywood right now. And now Jane Fonda, of all people, is having a very big problem with Tom Cruise. And we all know why, by the way, is that there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes drama between both Tom Cruise and Jane Fonda after he ditched her from Top Gun 3. We'll talk more about that down the road. Now, with endless Hollywood celebrities still to this day engaging in politics and forcing it to their audience, especially since the Charlie Kirk assassination, one major development that is now active involves actress Jane Fonda openly attacking Tom Cruise and criticizing him, and how this bitterness likely stems from how Cruise ditched her from Top Gun 3 like I mentioned before. Now, Fonda delivered the following. I think it's very worrisome, she says, to me, very worrisome when you have one of the last action stars out there like Tom Cruise lecturing other actors to not come forward with their politics or to stay quiet about it all. What kind of life is that? And what puts him in that position to say such a thing? Quite frankly, I don't think Mr. Cruise has the right to lecture other actors on whether or not they should display their politics to their fans. I was honestly shocked to see him come out to speak against those that have been with him over the years. The minute they started to criticize Donald Trump again as the president, I never expected Mr. Cruise to have the audacity to tell other actors that are in his lane to quiet things down. I think it's very important for their survival, for the survival of our country, to speak about our politics as actors and to teach our longtime supporters on who they should vote for. That is the true American way, and unfortunately, sadly, Mr. Cruise, I lost, of course, a lot of respect for him and how he has no clue on what he's going on about. Just because you are an actor, it doesn't mean that you should stay silent about your politics. I think that's where he's getting things wrong. Who does he think he is? Just because he is one of the last action stars out there, I don't believe it gives him a free pass to lecture others that are in the same business to tone it down with their politics. And I have had my run-in with him, and I have had my run-ins with Mr. Cruise, and some business issues that I really don't want to get into right now. But it is so clear at this point that it is those like Mr. Cruise who I think are afraid of politics because it shines a light on the truth of the issues running wild in our country today under President Donald Trump. And you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if he is supporting Donald Trump in disguise. Now guys, let me just stop there for a moment about what Jane Fonda is spewing now. We know that Jane Fonda is just really reaching at this point as far to say that Tom Cruise is MAGA or Tom Cruise is a Trump supporter, which, by the way, he never really openly admitted that or confirmed that. He is very mysterious in that light. The only thing that Tom Cruise did, quite frankly, was that he came forward and said that politics should not be intertwined with the film industry, with acting, with show business, whatever it may be, because it divides your audience. And he did actually name drop a couple of actors out there before in the past, sure, but what he did essentially was just saying that politics should not be connected to show business, and it should not be forced onto their fans. That's basically all Tom Cruise really did at the end of the day. And sure, he did take, action against some actors before in the past behind the scenes, and most recently against Jane Fonda, and rightfully so. And I'm sure that's why she's actually openly attacking Tom Cruise right now. But we know one thing about this for sure, is that Jane Fonda is unhinged, insufferable, and honestly, she's losing a lot of fans for valid points out there, because nobody wants to listen to her nonsense anymore, and even her own dedicated fans are now beginning to wake up. You're definitely seeing a turn of the tide in Hollywood. You're definitely seeing a turn of the tide in those that once supported these crazy actors, by the way, that just spew out such nonsense. Now, she goes on to continue, but that's open for debate, I guess, right? I never thought I would see the day where we can sort of guess now that Tom Cruise, the last action star, is leaning toward the MAGA cult, because if he wasn't, I don't think he would have come forward asking people to tone things down. Our country's survival depends on actors with a large following to call out the insanity taking place under Trump's administration. It's something that we need to put an end to by voting during the midterms next year. We have to take it all back, the House and the Senate, and the more we have those out there like Mr. Cruise telling us to dial it down, it puts us in a very bad and delicate situation, because then we are not reaching our audience properly on who to vote for and how to vote state by state. So I am asking everyone to do the right thing and vote Democrat, because it's our only path to common sense again. And there you have it, guys. Jane Fonda again telling you how to vote, who to vote for, what party to vote for. I mean, it's just very exhausting. But one thing for sure is that she's getting it all wrong when it comes to Tom Cruise. She's basically saying that Tom Cruise is essentially becoming MAGA, is essentially becoming a Trump supporter, so to speak. Tom Cruise never openly admitted that, and never really said anything along those lines. And we know one thing for sure about Tom Cruise is that he is a very mysterious individual, a very mysterious actor out there, and that's why I think it bothers a lot of actors and actresses out there, because they can't quite figure him out just yet. And say what you will have to say about him when it comes to his religion. Aside from all of that, what I do respect Tom Cruise for is that he sticks to entertaining the fans. He sticks to actually showcasing his passion to the fans out there and actually building up a new fan base. You know, we know that Mission Impossible, Top Gun Maverick, and what's in the works right now with Top Gun 3, it is literally building up a brand new generation of fans that look up to Tom Cruise and his work. And it's all through his passion as a filmmaker, as an actor, and as essentially a stuntman, because let's be very real about this. He basically is a actual main stuntman in his own movies, because he does all the stunts. He does all of the crazy things that you have seen before in the last couple of films. So I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Jane Fonda and Tom Cruise below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.